lot of fun cutting right now and some decision making to be had. Also some serendipity. I had this image of Brunelleschi's dome in Florence and also a smaller version of it from an old postcard given to me from a friend. And they just happened to fall together. I'm pretty sure that's the same architectural masterpiece. So how to incorporate it into this collage piece? I also liked the crowd scene, maybe, for our focal point. I love the focal point. She's extremely interesting, although I'm planning on doing for lack of better terms, a decapitation of sorts and adding this as the head. And then maybe doing battle with another focal point, this hand with the camera. I liked the face, but I'm thinking about just dropping it maybe because it'll clear things up a little bit, and also it minimizes the fight that it has with the focal point. So I want to just maybe clean that up a little bit. I did like the way it looked when I was cutting. And the first part of this video, as you saw, was time-lapse and cutting. And that's what I normally do when I feel like I want to be creative, but I'm not sure what I want to make or where I'm going. I knew I had all this material laying around because I just finished a workshop. And it was a pretty hefty workshop also. There were several participants, which is always fun, but a lot of work. Because this part of the focal point is black and white, I thought about doing something where many different arms, but because there's a black and white imagery, I'm thinking about making this focal point as colorful as possible. I'm also wondering, what I'm going to do with the face. I really love the face. I kind of hate taking the head off, but that's kind of the direction I'm headed in. And whether or not I add the dome is another thing altogether. I also was playing with this. You may have seen me in time-lapse using these head x-rays perhaps as the midriff. So I don't want to overload it. I don't want it to get too busy because then this felt busy. I thought about perhaps the model holding the dome, like clutching it almost like a purse maybe because of the way the arms are positioned. But with this background, it feels busy. So I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. Thought about maybe incorporating it like this, but I need to cut more here so you can see the dome and see, well, that might work. Let's see. Have to do a little bit more cutting and make some more decisions, because if she is the focal point, then this camera hand needs to be really secondary. I'll probably cut off the white part, but I'm just not sure what I want to do just yet in terms of finishing it. Lots of little fussy cut pieces hanging around, which I love to do. I like doing them just to kind of prep and to get myself prepared for whatever I come up with, whatever that might be. And a lot of different pieces really hanging around after the workshop. So that's always kind of neat to do. I am going to commence in time-lapse and give this gal a new face and this dome a new home. this is always more in collage. I think this is done. So as you can see, I kind of left this poor little arm out with the camera. I just felt it was too much. Yeah, it's just too much. It's too much of a focal point in and of itself, maybe for a minimal. And I love it and I will use it, but not in this collage. And now I'm thinking of backgrounds. I'm probably going to resort to my Photoshop backgrounds, just a nice solid background for this. There's a lot going on without adding more to it in terms of background. So I'm going to play with that. And yeah, I'm going to call it done. Thinking of names. Cutting off a little bit of this finial off the top. Just want to round it off. Nothing major. It won't change too much. Now, it's definitely weird, and I got both domes in. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out in the background. I might play with backgrounds. Maybe a different type of background shape, just a solid pastel. So, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I always love to hear from you. And I thank you again for joining me on this collage journey. We will see you in the next video.